Family, good morning. It is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Thank you very much for joining me on today's broadcast. We got a lot to go over today, family. Here's the lineup. The weekend recap. We got roster risers. Third segment's going to be banging. Keelon Russell is him. And if you think that Keelon Russell will be the starter come that first game of the season, let me know inside the comment box. But if you think it's too early, then sound off as well. Little injury news. Noah Rogers, Xavier Crowell. Then we'll talk about some concerns, right? What concerns do we have following A-Day? There's a couple more practices this week. Got practice Tuesday and Thursday. And then the bottom line, right? Is Alabama better or worse compared to last year? You're either moving forward or backwards. So that's on today's program. If you caught Wake Up Bama, we listened to Coach Keelon DeBoer break down Alabama following the spring scrimmage. I guess you call it a scrimmage, right? It wasn't a game. It was a scrimmage, and that's fine. There was more scrimmaging than I thought there'd be, to be honest. It was better than just like individual drills. So if you went to A-Day, I'd love to get your feedback inside the comment box as we go through the program, because I felt that we had an opportunity to see some good and more good than bad, to be honest. There were some things that certainly I wasn't happy about, but overall, I think that just starting off on the weekend recap, I was pleased with where this team is. And this isn't a gas up. It's not telling everybody that things are going to be better and this and that, because there's things that I still feel need to tighten up. But I left the scrimmage, number one, elated about Keelon Russell. My goodness. I mean, he's just him. I actually like the running game, and I've been, going over, there's so much content out there right now, and a lot of people are not happy about Alabama's run game. And I can understand why. I think people are looking at the stats, but I'm not too worried about the stats. I'm worried about what did they look like compared to last year? What did they look like in open space, right? How did they run when they had opportunities? So I was pleased with Daniel Hill. I'm not going to lie. I know a lot of people not happy about him. And for those people hyping up Trayshawn Brown, I 100% believe that they should. But I would slow down. I don't even think Trayshawn Brown probably gets 50 carries this year. He's not going to be a guy that plays more than Crowell, I promise you that. He's not going to be a guy who plays more than Riley or A.K. Deere. He's a very good prospect, and we'll talk about him on roster risers. But the reality is that Trayshawn Brown is a freshman who stood out, but he's a freshman that is not going to play, in my opinion, a lot this year because of the running backs on the roster are better than him. Also, on the weekend recap, you had Rory McIlroy, right? Won back-to-back Masters, and for those out there that love golf, can you imagine? I mean, the pressure. 4 consecutive days to shoot like that, right? On 17, he hit it into the woods and, of course, makes a recovery shot. And that's the thing about the pros is just like they'll hit a bad shot, but they'll never hit 2 bad shots. So Rory McIlroy wins back-to-back Masters, just really incredible to me. I mean, if you play golf and you watched it, it was definitely entertaining throughout the day yesterday and the last couple of days leading up to yesterday. Also, Alabama added a prospect from the transfer portal on the basketball side, and I think that was definitely significant. Alabama needed a big man following the departure of Aiden Sherrill. And with Aiden Sherrill leaving, I think that does leave a big gap for Alabama in the post play, right? And who's going to replace him? What are you going to do? Well, Alabama last night added Brandon Collins, right, out of Kentucky. And I think Brandon Garrison, 6'10", with a 7'3" wingspan, right? So is this the answer to Alabama's post play? I guess they still need another guy because you lose Aiden Sherrill and you lose Noah Williams. And I don't know how kind of the roster will shake out, but getting Brandon Garrison, I think, is a really big pickup for Alabama. I know a lot of people are really excited about it. I went over and kind of read the Kentucky board and saw what they had to say. And, of course, he's not good or they don't like him, whatever. But I think that was a really good get for Alabama and Nate Oates last night. So Those are some of the items that kind of stood out to me over the weekend. And I hope you guys had a good weekend as well. And if you came to A-Day and we were able to, say what's up, I appreciate you guys rolling through. I know Patriot Life came in and we saw Patriot Life, and Patriot Life went out. Patriot and I went out and we had a beer, right? Just man to man. And it was enjoyable. We played a Golden Tee. Edged out Patriot Life kind of on the back end, but such a good dude, man, and a pure Alabama fan through and through. I met Ryan Harris Music. He came through with his father, and King's Family React. He brought his son, and it was really good just to say what's up. And it was a funny moment because we're sitting there by Tuska, right, the elephant, where I always do the live show from, right? And I get a phone call, and I take the phone call. Yo, fam, I'm telling you, and I say this as kind of like a public service announcement. I was talking to everybody. We're just like sitting there talking, right? And I nearly got scammed. There was like a scam that called me, and I was completely freaked out. And these scam calls are so good. So definitely have your heads on a swivel on these calls, because I'm telling you, I was free. Has anybody had a scam call? This one was the most diabolical, well thought out. I was freaked out. All right. So keep your head on the swivel out there. Man, my goodness, man. I was like, what are you see? It was crazy. So scams are out there. And I almost got duped, family. Okay. So welcome to the day show. I appreciate you guys being here. And again, if you saw Wake Up Bama this morning, we listened to Coach Keelon DeBoer. And before I get to roster risers, I'm really perplexed that nobody, like the official reporters that get to go and ask the questions, that nobody asked Coach specifically about the play of Keelon Russell. Now, they asked a little bit, why did he play more than Austin Mack? But they didn't ask about the play of him, right? It's like, in the way I was thinking about it, the way to perfectly phrase that was, hey, Coach, is this kind of exceptional from what we saw from Keelon Russell today? Was he just kind of on fire, or is this what you've seen through all spring practice? And I think if he was able to answer that, I'd be curious to what he says. And I know he's doing like 5 different interviews today, so I'm sure somebody will ask him. But it'll be really interesting if he highlights Keelon Russell more than Austin Mack. And I know there's still a lot of people out there, and I'm not even on segment 3. I just find it really interesting that nobody asked him specifically about Keelon Russell. That was like the biggest news item in the entire country, and no soundbite, right? So I don't know. We'll get to it here in a second. So roster risers. What I'd like from you inside the comment box, could you add 2 players that definitely stood out to you during the spring game? Whether you saw highlights, whether you were at the game on Saturday, name 2 guys that kind of roster risers. And I think for me, I'll go with the defense first. I think Luke Metz at the linebacker position was stellar. I mean, this kid can absolutely play. All 3 of those sophomore linebackers, I didn't see too much of Abdul Sanders. I'm still in the process of like breaking down tape and all that stuff like that. But Luke Metz, man, that guy was everywhere. That guy is such a quality player. You want your inside linebacker to be right place, right time, to come downhill, to wrap up, to put your hands up, to make plays, to be solid in goal line situation. He did every single one of those items. Luke Metz is a gem, 100%, man. That guy is, and I kind of see, how Trent Seaborn is like all Alabama. He's like the biggest Alabama fan. That's how Luke Metz is. So we have a guy like that who helped recruit that class, but wants to be here, and he's out of Georgia. Man, he's stellar. I don't know if he starts. I would probably put him on the 2 deep right now, and that's not a knock. I do have another roster riser, which I'm going to say is QB Reese. And I saw a lot of similar elements with QB Reese. And I saw him get into the backfield, very, very talented, and I think those will probably be your starting inside linebacker. So if I learned anything about Alabama's defense, and that was one of the bigger things, too, that I would be curious to find out from Coach Keelon DeBoer is, how would you assess the inside linebacker play right now after A-Day and whatever scrimmages you've had, considering you've lost so much talent and experience there? That's very important. We don't just replace Deontay Lawson, Nakai Hill Green, Justin Jefferson like that. We got to have guys that can play at the highest level because we know that the defense is going to be good. And I saw the overreaction about people not feeling the defense isn't going to be good. Family, it is like, and this isn't to you directly, but this is not like a game setting. They're not trying to get Daniel Hill 100 yards. They're seeing how these guys do in certain plays. They're giving them opportunities. So same thing with the defense. I thought Luke Metz was fantastic. I thought QB Reese was really good as well. I'll stay on the defense. Daryl Duke Johnson, family, he's very, very talented. Another sophomore linebacker. The more I watch this team, the more we dive into it, the sophomores, they stand up. The second-year players on this team stand up. So Daryl Duke Johnson, I saw him making plays as well. Jaira Edwards, number 10 is everywhere, family. I don't know how you keep someone like that off the field. He's got to play. Okay, special teams, I got Lorcan Quinn. The guy was 4 of 4 field goals, hit 2 from 40 yards out. We needed to see that. We need more special teams improvement. Lorcan Quinn, really impressed with his ability for sure. On the offensive side, I'll go with the offensive line. Mal Waldrip. Mal Waldrip is... he's kind of like one of the sleeper players of the spring. This is a guy who is scout team. He's an in-state guy. I was curious to see where Mal Waldrop would kind of fit in over the course of his time here. And if you would have told me that in year 2 that Mal Waldrop on spring, and I get it, Will Sanders is out and there's a lot of competition there. He's not a bona fide starter, but he played a lot yesterday or Saturday during the spring game. So I would definitely highlight him. Mal Waldrop on the offensive line. And think about the guys who he's competing against. Ethan Fields, transfer in. Nick Brooks, transfer in. Ty Haywood, transfer in. So Mal Waldrop getting opportunity, I thought was very impressive. And one of the things that I don't want to go unsaid about kind of the roster, as we're on roster risers right here, is somebody asked, they were like, how's the center? Fine. Sometimes we take for granted just snapping the football, and I don't ever want to go back to where we once were in terms of having missed snaps, not having communication there. Not to say that we haven't had that in the last couple of years. I thought Parker Brailsford was good. He wasn't elite, but he was good. I didn't see any problem with Rayson Dalgatti in my quick assessment of the Alabama offensive line. So I'd like to have him to the list as well. 2 wide receivers. Of course, Ryan Coleman-Williams is him. I've already said what I need to say on him, and I'll continue to highlight him because he's going to have a fantastic season. Looked perfect on Saturday. But 2 younger guys, another second-year player, Derek Meadows, had a really nice catch. There was a ball thrown low. Was able to catch that pass and kind of turn up field. This guy's a player for sure. 6'5". He's going to be utilized. I still think he has ceiling too, right? He might not play an overwhelming amount this year, but when his name is called, I think he'll play, and I think he'll be fine. More than fine. Really, really, really solid prospect. But I will say Sadarian Morgan, family. Like Sadarian Morgan, I knew he'd be really good. But it's like, okay, this is a great analogy. You know how we feel that Xavier Crowell, like he just has it and he's going to just showcase his ability 100%? That's exactly, and that's how I kind of felt about Sadarian Morgan. But to see it like on the field, we're like, yep. I have to say this, and I'll go over my depth chart this week. I feel right now, just kind of overreaction Monday type stuff, that Sadarian Morgan is among the top 3 wide receivers on this team right now. And I know he led the team yesterday, Saturday, and I think that he would be a perfect blend with the starters because you have Ryan Coleman-Williams, who's a vertical threat, kind of your do-it-all. Lazier Brooks, your slot type guy. Right, you can run jet sweeps and stuff like that. And then you have Sadarian Morgan, and after the scrimmage, they were talking about his catch radius. And you think about the mismatches that he can have inside the red zone. down the field. You're talking about explosive plays. Sedarian Morgan has that, and he did a lot of that at high school, and he's already showing flashes of that during the spring game. So, yeah, should we slow down on Sedarian Morgan and some of these other freshmen? Yeah, for sure. But I know what I saw. Sedarian Morgan, that guy, the only thing, what would make Sedarian Morgan more dangerous, he already is dangerous, okay? Like if we're saying like 10 is the most dangerous you can be as a wide receiver, I would say he's like a 7 already. What could get him to like 8, 9 is if he just adds more speed. Not saying he's slow, but a little bit more speed on him, he might be one of the better wide receivers in the entire country because of his size and just what he can do. I mean, if that man starts, if he's one of the fastest cats we got, whew, man. But that's like positive criticism, and he'll get faster. Sedarian Morgan, definitely on my roster risers. Trying to think if there's anything, anyone else I'd add. I mean, clearly, Keelon Russell. I mean, the whole next segment's about to be about Keelon Russell. Any other roster risers that you have inside the comment box that you'd like to kind of point out? I didn't think Jet Tamala looked bad at quarterback. I really didn't. The tight end room, I might talk about them in, a couple segments down on concerns. And not that I'm overly concerned with the tight end room because I think they're serviceable. I just feel, and they don't need to be playmakers. They really don't. They were fine in red zone play, and they caught, a touchdown or whatever, and they caught their passes. I just don't feel that we have a tight end that is better than Josh Cuevas on the team right now. That's just my opinion. But maybe you don't need one. Maybe this kind of offense needs bigger tight ends that can help Alabama in different areas. Just my assessment. Any other roster risers that are out there? I'm trying to think as we kind of, go over the roster. Wide receivers who stood out. I'll say this. My next, another roster riser, not that he was kind of low on my totem pole, and I have a video already explaining about the running backs, but one guy I would like to highlight before I move on to Keelon Russell is A.K. Deer. What do you have, like 4 carries for like no yards or whatever it was? I was really disappointed to see that people weren't hyping him up when he had opportunities in the open field. They threw a check down to him one time, and he made a man miss, got upfield, looked perfectly fine. So I think A.K. Deer is going to be really, really good. I see you guys hyping up Drake Kirkpatrick. That's a good addition. Thank you. Yeah, it was good to see him have that nice interception. Had to go up on it, high point it, catch it, kind of turn it up. It was good. I mean, people were so excited to get Drake Kirkpatrick back and to have him have a good showing in springtime. And I saw him making some tackles as well. It's just amazing to me that, like, Jira comes in, and I saw 10. I don't know if I was, like, just trying to watch Jira or what was going on, but every single time something happened, Jira Edwards was involved. Like, I would slow down the tape. I was breaking things down. Did you feel that way as well? I was like, man, this dude's everywhere. Everywhere. Man, I'm telling you, those freshmen and sophomores are just really, really impressive to me. Okay. Next up on Keelon Russell. So, inside the comment box, I would love feedback here. Yes or no, and it's totally fine if you say no. Do you think that Keelon Russell, based off the data points that we have as of Monday, April 13th, has made himself the starter at Alabama? Yes or no, inside the comment box. And there's a lot of people that have seen other scrimmages, that have seen practice, that, I talked to. And despite what happened on Saturday, still feel that a quarterback competition goes into the season and they play a couple games still rotating to see who the better quarterback is. For me, I feel, and I'm gonna put a poll inside the comment box. I didn't anticipate to feel like this today, and I've kind of tried to explain myself to the best of my abilities, is Keelon Russell. I'm adding a poll right now. Quarterback number 1. Yes. And I'm going to put not yet. I did not anticipate to feel like this about Keelon Russell on Monday following A-Day. And here's why. Coach Kalen DeBoer has made it clear, and I listened to Coach Kalen DeBoer. Every single opportunity that we've had to hear Coach Kalen DeBoer, he has not said that one quarterback was taking a bigger step forward than the other quarterback. And I bought into that. And even the people that I do talk to that have really good access, for the most part, they kind of said the same thing. That's why I felt that on Saturday, we would have more assessment of the quarterbacks, but I still feel that we would still be talking about quarterback competition today and even going into August and into the season. And a lot can change in August. I fully am aware of that. That's a big month. But based on what I saw from Saturday with my own eyes and being there, the biggest question going into the scrimmage for me is which quarterback could command the offense better, could make more explosive plays, just looked more comfortable. And on all those 3 different areas, it was Keelon Russell by a pretty good margin. I am not saying that Austin Mack didn't make good throws. He did. He made a few throws for sure. He had a touchdown pass. He had a deep throw to Ryan Coleman-Williams. He had a nice out route to Derek Meadows, or to a tight end, I think. But there was a different level of offensive cohesiveness when Keelon Russell was at the quarterback position. It didn't matter if he was the quarterback with the 2s or the 1s or whoever was on the field. He made the most of his opportunities. He didn't have a lot of mistakes. I think there was one mistake where he had an overthrow in the right side of the north end zone. There was a pass that he threw that could have get blocked down. And I do want to say this. Because you can't take down the quarterbacks, there would have been a couple times that I would wager to say that he would have been sacked. There was a time I think maybe even Jaira Edwards would have, put him on the turf. But I think moving the football and even how he operated in the red zone and in goal line situation, I really liked what I saw. And I think, as you've seen on social media, there was a lot of different. I think there was 2 plays where he showed you what he could do, kind of in open space, and make people miss. My favorite part of watching Keelon Russell was the nice downfield throw to Sedarian Morgan, but I like to see him operate inside the red zone in the goal line. I love the rollout with him because he's going to put a lot of pressure, and more pressure than Austin Mack could put on the defense because of his ability to run or to kind of throw and has that wide vision. He's him, family. And I would be really, really shocked that drastic things change in August. And I'd even be more shocked if we get to that first game of the season against East Carolina and the starter that runs on the field is not number 12. Wouldn't that be really surprising to you? I would be really shocked. Now, there are some people that are close to the program, and they say that the quarterback competition is still very tight based off what they've seen in the other scrimmages and, practice and this sort of stuff. I felt that Austin Mack as well, from the pocket standpoint, he doesn't move around like Keelon. But he does have a big arm, and he has a cannon, right? Like the big arm and the laser throws, I'd love to see it. to be honest. He has good ability. And some of these conversations might make people uncomfortable that have a hard time like saying someone is better than the other person. I don't want to go that direction. I want to be 100% honest. And that might make a little bit of people upset that are like real Alabama football fans. But this is the mini NFL now. So I have to tell the honest truth, as always, about what I feel happened. And I think that because Keelon Russell is young, because the quarterback depth chart is young, Jet Tamala Tadenkawa, that I think the game plan was to keep Austin Mack, a quarterback that has experience, kind of as an insurance policy behind Keelon Russell. So you have, a quarterback that can lead the team, but your star of the show is going to be your star of the show. And one of the things that even Chad the Fisherman is saying inside the comment box is something that Ryan Grubb said. That one of the things that he really likes about Keelon Russell is his wide vision. I 100% agree. There was a time last Saturday where he was kind of moving around, kept his eyes, and then boom, right? His release is beautiful. Got great touch on the ball. He's very mobile as a quarterback. Keelon Russell's him, fam. He is. And I don't think that should upset people. I think we should be celebrating this. So I think that he established himself as a starter. Now, I'm going off one practice that I saw. But I trust my eyes. And I have people that I talked to, even this morning, I talked to somebody really close to the program, really close to the program, and they still believe that there will be a quarterback competition. And they were telling me that they still feel that these quarterbacks each play within at least the first 3 games to truly figure out who's the best quarterback. But I would just be like shocked, whatever you want to call it, if we get to that first game of the season and the starting quarterback is not Keelon Russell. And I'm happy for it, man. This guy, as a young man, I don't even know if he's 20 years old yet. He's gone through a lot. He's been at the highest point at the high school level, had to come here, had to deal with losing a sibling, a twin. And he's continued to work on his craft, get better, battle against Austin Mack, another really good quarterback. And to have him showcase his ability on Saturday, I don't know, how many would you say were at Saturday's A-Day scrimmage? Did they announce it anywhere? I didn't see it. It was more than there were last year, for sure. I was happy about that. I would say there was a pretty good turnout. But all those people probably left feeling the same way. I mean, I talked to a lot of people out there. They were like, this is Keelon's team. Now, in terms of comparison, I saw someone say Jaden Daniels. I think that is a beautiful, beautiful, spot-on comparison. Sometimes you can't make comparisons between, some people are different. I think that Jaden Daniels and Keelon Russell, I think that is a great comparison. Would you guys agree with that? The thing about it is when you looked at Jaden Daniels, man, that guy, the way that he has touch, he has accuracy, he can move. I think that's a very, very good comparison. I think they might even be the same size if I'm not mistaken. Good comparison. I think I've said that before. It was just Keelon was a little bit smaller. He's grown up now. Yeah, I like that comparison. And man, Jaden Daniels is very difficult to deal with in college and in the NFL. And if you can get him on your fantasy football team, then absolutely do it. 1,000,000%. Which brings me to my next point right here, which is supporting our sponsor, which is Sleeper. So I would appreciate you guys doing that because Sleeper is a great place. Let's see over here. Let me take this off real quick. How do I get this out? Okay. Yeah, so you go to Prize Picks, all right? So you go to Prize Picks, and what you do is you download the promo code, which is HMA, all right? And within Prize Picks, you can make futures. So I'll zoom in real quick, and this is Prize Picks, okay? Prize Picks. You play $5, you get 50 in lineups. And this is some NFL futures right here that you can look at. For example, I looked at the running backs recently, and I think I showcased this on Wake Up Bama. But can I just get some feedback inside the comment box real quick on Derrick Henry specifically? More or less right here on Prize Picks, more or less on Prize Picks, do you have Derrick Henry running for 1,300 yards this year? Yes or no? More or less for the King, another season of the King on Prize Picks. They have him at $12.99, more or less. God, fam, I hate to disrespect the King. Do we say less? I think I'd say less right here. Is that right? I would definitely say more with Jahmyr Gibbs. And if I had to do another running back, let's see. Oh, man. Look, I love me some James Cook as much as anybody else, but I think 1,200 yards is probably a little bit too much. I'm going to say less over here. Ooh, you also got CMC? Man, I say less here, and will CMC get 1,000 yards? Man, you can't bet against CMC too much, man. That would be my little lineup right there. I would say less for D. Henry, the King, more for Jahmyr Gibbs, less for Cook, and more for CMC. So $5 is the offer, and you get $50 in lineups. Check it out, Prize Picks, and I appreciate you guys supporting the sponsor as they support me right here on Bama Football on YouTube. That is Prize Picks. Play $5, get $50 instantly, right? All right, let's talk a little bit of injury news. Unfortunately, we have a couple injuries right now. Guys a little bit dinged up. I guess Austin Mack is one of them. So I have to ask you inside the comment box, and you know what? Going through the comments, a lot of people, not a lot of people, there was like 2 people that said they felt that they saw Austin Mack limping. Now, listening to Coach Keelon DeBoer, he said that Austin Mack was going through some things, and then he was asked again by a reporter, and he was like, he's a little bit dinged up. I just want to ask you, do you believe that he's hurt? Did he look hurt to you? Yes or no? Inside the comment box. To me, he did not look injured during that first drive, any drive. I don't. So I guess I'm answering my own question. I don't think he was hurt. I don't think he was dinged up. Now, you probably saw Keelon Russell cooking out there, and maybe you got a little bit bothered by it. Who knows? I don't know. Some people are saying hurt ego. I don't think that he was banged up. But there was 2 people, and I'll go back and watch the footage. I'm always watching the footage. They said he was limping. I didn't see any, Coach Keelon DeBoer didn't even say if it was his arm, his leg, whatever it was. So I guess he's on the injury report with dinged up, right? You also have Crowell. And Crowell, I saw him. He was on a scooter, and it looked kind of like a leg injury or a foot or a calf. I don't know what it is. It's a soft tissue injury. I guess they say it's not serious, but it's held him out of 3 weeks of practice. And which has been really unfortunate because it would have been amazing to see how he compares on the field to some of the other running backs, right? So my question for you inside the comment box is, when we get Crowell back, where do you have him on the depth chart? where do you have Crowell on the depth chart? And I'll bring up the running backs real quick so you can kind of see all the running backs. And I'll go full screen on this. For me, I already said that Daniel Hill is trending up, right? And the carries underneath are what they did during the spring game. But here are the running backs. So how would you assess and where would you have Crowell within your lineup? I think for me, I don't know. Because I still I refuse to sleep on A.K. Deere and Kevin Riley. I'm not going to throw those guys away. And while Trayshawn Brown looked great, I don't think that he plays more than Crowell, right? So unfortunately, Crowell has been banged up, and I would imagine he's 100% by the start of the season. He looked pretty good in the first whatever practices we saw of him. But I don't think that we really know right now where he's going to be. I see some people saying 4, on the depth chart. Probably 4. It would have been great to see him play, but we just got to be patient. The other injury, which is pretty significant, and I don't know, we're still waiting for full details on it, but this is a big one, is Noah Rodgers, right? I mean, losing Noah Rodgers for any length of time is not good. I saw the play. It was towards the back of the end zone, and he went up, and he got banged up. Here's your wide receiver room. Ryan Coleman-Williams, Rico Scott, Lazier Brooks, Derek Meadows, Cedarian Morgan, right? Noah Rodgers, MJ Cherwig, Mathis, Aubrey Walker, Amari Sapp, right? So not having Rodgers, yeah, you're like, well, look at all the receivers that we have. Noah Rodgers is a guy who definitely made plays this springtime. I think he was probably the third wide receiver, him and Rico Scott. Now you have kind of Rico Scott there and Cedarian Morgan, and we don't know what the length of Noah Rodgers' injury will be, right? I think that it sounded like a foot, but I Coach, after you heard Coach, he said that they're going to still have to dive into it. So I think that's, if there's any injury that's pretty big right now, I think that'd be Noah Rodgers, unfortunately. Good news is he's got Jeff Allen, the best in the business. Good news is it's the summer. And the other thing is, good news is you got Rico Scott, who also looked good at A-Day and who's also had a good spring. So my wide receivers right now, Ryan, Lottie, Cedarian Morgan, Rico Scott. Those are my guys until, Noah gets healthy. Jay's asking about Tyler Henderson. Tyler Henderson is still on the team. We got to add him to that last graphic. Tyler Henderson, he came over from junior college. He's looked okay this spring. All right. What concerns do we have about this squad? What concerns do we have about this team right now? Do you still have a concern about the running game? Do you have a concern about the Alabama offensive line? Now, there was a couple people that pointed out that Javen James missed a couple blocks. I have not done my true, offensive line assessment. That's something that I'm going to work on after the show today. But those are the two critical areas, right? Because they go hand in hand. It's like offensive line and running backs. Is there any concerns on the defensive side that you saw that stood out to you? I don't know if we can get a true assessment of the pass rush against, in times where you can't take down the quarterback. Here's my concern. And this, I hate to bring this up because it might make people mad or whatever, but I think this is the truth. The Wildcat on third down. I know you were like, oh my God, Kyle. Are you? Or do you feel the same way? Getting to third down in a goal line situation and coming out of Wildcat, it gave me PTSD from the past season. And then when they ran Wildcat, I was like, what are they doing? And then they ran Wildcat and then it got stuffed. And then I posted it inside the comment box and someone was like, we used to run Wildcat all the time with Josh Jacobs. Really? I mean, I don't think it was all the time. I think it was, maybe once or twice. Which ties into my concern, which is Ryan Grubb. Right? So the Ryan Grubb impact is still, I think, a concern when you look at this squad. Now, they didn't show a lot on Saturday, but that one play, like, why? How is that even part of, like, and I know they're not trying to set up anything, but, like, why even try something like that? I didn't understand that. That's a concern, like that one particular situation. The other concern I guess I have would be about the Alabama offensive line. But again, I haven't done like a full assessment. Is there anyone in here that feels the Alabama offensive line has already taken a really big step forward? The other area that I would say is probably, and I'm not too concerned about this, but I will bring it up, is the tight ends. And do you need a tight end that is overly dynamic? Not necessarily. I think the tight ends are serviceable. I keep saying that. Like, they catch the ball, they block. And maybe that's all you need from your tight ends. But I think it would help if we had a tight end that had a little bit more playmaking ability. Again, I don't know if this offense necessarily needs that. It was just nice to have last year when Josh Cuevas was one of the top wide receivers on the team. But I don't think you're going to need that this year because I kind of feel like the wide receivers are going to be better this year than last year. Coaching decisions, I like that. Okay. Yeah. Other concerns, I mean, look, same concerns, but we can't assess those until we actually get into a game, like pass rush. There was times I felt we could have got to the quarterback on Saturday, but they can't take down the quarterbacks. So that's a concern, but I think they're going to address those concerns. You know what I'm saying? Coach DeBoer has talked about that. He said that is something that we need to work on. So I feel that they are addressing that. Another concern was like special teams. Well, Coach Keelon DeBoer also addressed that by going to the transfer portal and getting Lorcan Quinn, who is wonderful, right? So those concerns are addressed. But is he addressing some of the schematics that are called play-wise? We just have to wait and see. But having a play out there like that really kind of pissed me off, to be honest, because you're like, oh, my goodness, bro. This again? Maybe they won't do that. I don't know. Is there any other concerns? Ty will rise. What's up, Ty will rise? Says Ryan Williams. No, I love me some Ryan Williams, bro. 1,000 yards this year. 100%. He looked great, man. Ryan Coleman Williams looked really good on Saturday. He made a nice out catch and then that deep pass that he caught from Austin Mack. I thought he was going to hit the brakes and make those two dudes hit each other and then kind of bounce out for a touchdown. He almost did, right? All right, so the bottom section right here is better or worse, right? And I see Jay Money bringing up the stats. I don't look into the stats for the running game in a scrimmage like that at all because it's like you're not trying to beat the defense. It was just all situational. I look at it in the small opportunities that they had, but those are the stats, right? Now, you're like, well, why do you feel Keelon Russell's stats were good? Because the guy was operating at a very high level. So I come back to my bottom topic right here. Better or worse? How about this? Do you feel that this team is going to be, it is better right now? How about, like, let me phrase it like this. So let's say the 2026 spring team meets the 2025 spring team, and they're able to play each other head to head. Who wins? The 2025 Alabama spring football team or the 2026 Alabama spring football team? And that's an interesting question. I kind of want to say that this spring team beats them. I left last year, and I wasn't impressed with Alabama's team. I think there was some good spots, as there always is, but I wasn't like overly impressed. I think that this team's better, right? I think we can all agree that this team is better. I mean, and last year's team turned out to be a playoff team. So you looked at how much development you get from now until August and through the season. Maybe that's another optimistic sign, right? J Money has the 25 team, but I think the majority has 2026. I'm saying 2026. Still interesting to think about. And then you start thinking about, will this team be better than they were last year? I really hope so. And what areas can you do to be able to be better than last year? And I know what you guys are going to say is the offensive line. That's it. You know what? When I asked that question, is this year's team going to be better than last year's team? It really never comes down to the quarterback. It never really comes down to anything else other than an offensive line. I think that is so right. We know we're going to have a good quarterback. We know it. But we don't know if we're going to have a good offensive line. We just don't. You don't know it. I don't know it. We know we have Michael Carroll, and we know we have a bunch of other guys who weren't here last year. That's what we know. Jackson Lloyd, he was here, but he didn't play. Mal Waldrip, I don't think he's going to be a starter. He's a second-year player, right? You have, I think Will Sanders will probably be the guard. Racing Delgado wasn't here. Michael Carroll, he's not even playing tackle. They moved him to guard. Right tackle, Javen James, I saw him miss some blocks. He wasn't here. So, and from what we saw on Saturday, there was times they could have got to the quarterback. There was times they didn't run the football effectively. So we don't know on the offensive line, right? Oh, man. All right. I'm going to open up the call-in line today. I've tried. We did the call-in line, I think. Was it yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. So give me a second. If you guys want to call in for a few, we'll take some calls right here on Bama Football on YouTube. Don't go anywhere. Your call is coming up next right here on Bama Football on YouTube. All right, family, we're back. Feel free to call into the call-in line. I think our first caller who has a speed dial on is Jay out in Pensacola on the road. Jay, what's up, man?
Hey, how's it going, Cal?
It's going great, man. Thanks for calling in. Welcome to the program, bro.
I don't know about you. I was just thinking about is it me or is it? I don't feel like they showed everything at this scrimmage. I feel like it was more left on the table, in my opinion. I do feel like I like the improvement of the running game, but I just feel like they didn't show the whole hand, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's why I don't take a lot from the running game. They're not going to show anything, too much, too complicated in a scrimmage setting. So, yeah, I think 100% they haven't showed everything. But, I mean, they did show the starters, right? They did show us at least the starters for now.
Right.
They did show us the first team for now. So we can take a little bit more from that. They did show us what the special teams could look like with Lorcan Quinn. So I look at it kind of like that. But in terms of like schematics and play calling and stuff like that, I don't think they showed all the stuff that they could have. What else?
One thing I was impressed about with the defense is the goal line, like how they did not let them score a touchdown rather than down there in the goal line. I did love that part. On the other hand, I was kind of concerned about that for the offense wise, as far as can you just simply run the ball in? Yes, Keelon has playmaking ability. But can you run the ball in straight to in the end zone with that against like a strong D line? They're probably my only concern.
Yeah, I think when you look to the goal line play, I liked the rollouts. The defense did come up with several stops. I don't think, to my recollection, that Alabama had a rushing touchdown. I had to go back and look at that. I don't think they did.
Right.
The defense kind of stood up. And like I said, all those super sophomore linebackers or freshman guys were standing up on that, even against the first team. So I thought that was impressive. But anything else, Jay, before I move to our next caller?
This is Cal. I love you, Cal. Guys are great.
All right, love you too, bro. Take it easy, man. All right, that's Jay out in Pensacola. It sounded like he was on the road. All right, 540, let's take it. All right, welcome to the program. I'm Kyle Henderson. Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
It's Tough as Nails from Winchester, Virginia.
Hey, Tough as Nails. Welcome on in, man, from Virginia. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, I was just wondering how that Caleb Woodson, did he play much, or I didn't see him on the field that much?
Yeah, I think with Caleb Woodson, the transfer from Virginia Tech, played a little bit, and I think with Caleb Woodson, the big thing here is he's got big shoes to fill, and he's been able to step in and earn a lot of notoriety from the coaching staff, whether that's Coach Kalen DeBoer, Kane Womack, and the things that they have said about him is that he's been professional. He's been a mentor to some of those younger sophomore linebackers that we have, and it's clear and apparent that he's going to be a day one starter here. He has, as you know, probably being up from the Virginia area, he had a volume of snaps at Virginia Tech. It's ACC, but he's got a lot of experience, and that is something that Alabama needed at the inside linebacker position. So him on Saturday, yes. Him on Saturdays in the future, yes, a very vital part so far of this Alabama defense. That's kind of one of the areas that they needed impactful from the transfer portal. What else we got, man?
Well, I just want to take it a positive note. The defense is dominant, and without two of our starting safeties are playing, it should sharpen the offense up. But I really think, in my opinion, that I don't know. I made a comment in the chat that have you ever been golfing with your best friend or a good friend of yours, and it just sort of ticks you off, but you don't say anything. I think Keelon and Ryan, Keelon might have to, hey man, this isn't working. This is what we need to do, or I don't know, split ways. I don't know. I really think there's a too much of a buddy. I don't know. I could be wrong.
I'm wondering about that too, Tough as Nails. As I wonder, is like, I think Coach Kalen DeBoer is at a good place right now. If I was to ask the general fan population, what's your approval rating of him? It's actually much higher than you would think than like on this show. Like, it's pretty high. I mean, 7.5, 8, something like that out of 10. It's really high. But I think if you were to ask the same thing about Ryan Grubb, it's like 2. It's like 3, 4, 5, or whatever. And
not as good.
And I think the problem is for Coach Kalen DeBoer, is the longer Ryan Grubb stays here, and if he underperforms again, then you average out Kalen DeBoer with Ryan Grubb, and that's not to Kalen DeBoer's benefit because people.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say people are not happy with Ryan Grubb, and I do say that's what year one. So year two, Alabama fans, they gave a lot of grace to Kane Womack. They gave a lot of grace to Kalen DeBoer. I think they'll give some grace to Ryan Grubb, but not too much, especially if he can't run the football. Go ahead, Tough as Nails.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say what didn't help Ryan Grubb's last year was the Seahawks' success, and that's. That goes against your resume. I don't know, and just the I don't know, the trickery plays. I know it's bothered me. I like to see a little bit more, smash mouth. I guess what should we call it? I don't know. Need to pick up 1 yard, And
I think I agree. I mean, there's the trick plays is, as I always say, it's like, remember the Titans type situation when all hell is gone, and you just need to do something to save the game, but not in like a third down situation. But thanks for the call, man. I appreciate you chiming in, man. Take it easy.
Yeah.
All right, man. Tough as Nails calling in from Virginia. 253 next.
Hey, what up, Kyle?
What's up, man? Who am I on the line with and where are you calling in from?
Man, it's all day CJ.
What's up, CJ?
Baby.
Yeah, I appreciate you, CJ. CJ from Washington. Thanks for the call, man. Come with it, bro.
Man, look, I think you on to something, sadly. Kalen DeBoer, it seems like he covers up for the quarterbacks. There's nothing – I didn't see nothing wrong with Austin Mack, man. I think his pride got dinged up, like I put in the comments. He got outperformed by the younger stud. And we got to remember, Keelon Russell is the highest rated 5-star Alabama's got. Am I correct on that?
Mm-hmm.
And he's showing why. This dude has unlimited potential. That juke move that he pulled, he did a double move. I don't know if people need to slow down and look at that one again. Yeah. That was a double move. I mean, he could have got him either way, man. Tic-tac-toe. I mean, golly. And then accurate as heck, man. This dude is on fire. I think he's got his sister on his shoulder, man. This dude's I can see it now. He's going to have a wonderful story, man. Like, we need to ride that. But I can't help to wonder, I think DeBoer is playing favoritism a little bit because Austin Mack was loyal to him and stayed with him. So he know that guy. He know the boy got outperformed, And this is my little prediction. I'm looking at the schedule. I think they're going to battle up, and it's something that you said earlier. I think they're going to battle up all the way up until the Florida State game. I think the first one, we got East Carolina. They both going to play. Then they're going to go on the road to Kentucky. They both going to play. And I think that Florida State game, that's a game that we should win because we want them. And I think that they're both going to play, but that's going to be the deciding factor going into the South Carolina game. And, my biggest concern to your question earlier is Coach Grubb, man. That Wildcat shit, I don't know why he did that. And you don't do Wildcats unless you just, really, really have to. You trying to get away from that stuff. We want to see what the O-line can do in the red zone, not no trickery stuff. That was just horrible. And if you can't even get it successfully on our defense, what makes you think you're gonna do it on somebody else's defense? This is ridiculous. We need to get away from all this crap, man. Your thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, man. I'll answer on the other line, man. But I appreciate you calling in, CJ. Thank you so much, bro. Be safe, man, and keep hitting me up, man. I always appreciate hearing from you, bro.
Yeah, man. Likewise, brother.
All right, that's my boy CJ out from Washington. Look, I think that these scrimmages, it's always tough because you're like, the defense isn't good or the offense isn't good or the offense is too good and the defense isn't good. It's just like, that's why I look to like a scrimmage like this and assess more like individual players than like the actual defense. Because, the ones were going against the twos. There was some times with the ones and the ones, but I look more of like individual performances, if that makes sense, on scrimmages like this. But there was a lot of people that did that, weren't happy about the defense. There's a lot of people that weren't happy about mostly that I've seen, most not happy about the running game. And then I was thinking about this too, and somebody asked me this, and I would say probably 55% pass, right? Like what would you say the rate if you went? I asked this yesterday. If you went to the scrimmage, what would you say the ratio was pass to run? I'd probably say like 55% pass. Was it 60% pass? I don't know. It seemed more pass. 850. I think we got who do we got? Is this Cody? Cody, what's up, man? Is this you?
Yes, it is, Kyle. How about you?
Cody, what's up, man?
Hey, I sorry guys. I just had that vocational rehab employment, so we just hit the second break after the first one. And I told him, I said I won't be here, but now I just popped up just to do this. Kyle, you were right. Keelon blew the roof down with the quarterback position. So you were right. So if I was gonna be, I still like Keelon for that fact. I don't know what's wrong with Austin Mack. The reason why he got less touches, it's really, to be honest, that I see Cedarian Morgan, I see the Derek Meadows and how much space they gave him. The Latia Brooks, the Rico Scott. The running back room just needs to be more work on. I don't know why Grubb put a trick play in a scrimmage game. Could you please tell me that idea?
I don't know. I've been asking people that as well. Maybe that's just
like sometimes I feel like they just need to stop with that Wildcat stuff. I said flea flicker is fine because you get plenty more space. Let your running back block for you. But of Wildcat formation, if you want to, since we got so many tight ends, can you get the diamond effect? If you know what the diamond formation is, Kyle.
I don't know if I know what the diamond is.
So the diamond formation is a old school playbook, and it has quarterback. It has basically quarterback, running back, and two fullbacks. It's a diamond effect. And so what happened is, if the quarterback would, let's say, use a running game, let's say it's to the left, then guess what happened? If the defense is shift to the left, the fullback on the left side would block for the running back. If it's to the right, it's like, if it's to the right, same with the right fullback. If it's a pass, which they do it on a pass play too, then both your fullbacks who are tight ends are blocking, including your running back. So guess what? You have three defenders blocking for you. Because guess what? Who's going to block a big running back and two fullbacks on a diamond playbook? That's intriguing. Maybe guess what? That's gonna do like, Keelon, if he wants to make a Hail Mary slot to Cedarian Morgan, and it's going to go for about 30 yards, maybe 40 or a touchdown. That's something that, Grubb should use. Wildcat formation on a scrim. But Keelon Russell tore the house down. So I wanted to come out here and say, you were right, Kyle. So I had too much faith with Austin Mack, but he didn't show up for that scrim game, and there was a good crowd out there. So
yeah. I mean,
couldn't be that. I couldn't be that Tuscaloosa. I wish I did. I wish, but they need to televise that game, those scrim games. But anyway, thoughts on that, Kyle?
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'll answer on the other line. Thanks for calling in, Cody. I appreciate it, bro. Cody calling in from Crestview. Thank you so much, man. Good call as always from Cody. I think, in terms of utilizing Wildcat or even Cody's formation, diamond, I never heard of the diamond. I know like wishbone, even like the T formation, right? Wing T, straight up T, where you just have 3 running backs. Same thing with like wishbone. I never heard of the diamond. You guys heard of the diamond before? We have players. We don't need to be doing any type of gimmicks or something else other than, if anything, what would have been really cool is if on Saturday, just maybe a couple times, it's just like a super heavy jumbo set, right? Like a jumbo set. You need to get like 1 yard or something like that. What is your version of like the tush push, right? I don't know. I mean, I just didn't like the Wildcat, but I've said my piece on that, I think. All right, 334. Hey, welcome to the program.
What's going on, Kyle? This is Yee.
I'm sorry, who am I on the line with?
This is Yee, man.
What's up, man? I appreciate you calling in. Where are you calling out of?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I ain't got much today for you. One thing on that Wildcat goal line. So basically, if you're going to run Wildcat on the goal line, it's because you really, really believe in your O-line. You really believe in your front. Like, you got some dogs up there. Georgia can run Wildcat goal line. Teams that have a dominant front, you can do that. But Bama, we're still trying to rebuild, so I don't understand that. Maybe if we add that up front. But as far as that goes, we got to fix that a little bit. Keelon, I seen that coming from a mile away. The guy's done a stud his whole life. He plays for one of the biggest schools in Texas. Duncanville is a mini JUCO Division II level high school. Yep. So Keelon has been balling at the highest level his whole life. So for him to, have that performance that he had Saturday, I seen it coming. I seen it coming. Offense good. He has a howitzer for an arm, but he has only a howitzer for an arm. He doesn't have the level throws. Like, he can't level it when you have to get it over the backer in the middle of the field and underneath the safety. I don't know that from Austin Mack, but Keelon got that down. Mm-hmm. The running backs are the running backs. They're good. It's just the front. We have to get continuity with that O-line. It's going to take a little bit of time, but I think we're going to get that. We got to be able to punch it in from the one with the running back. There's no need for Keelon Russell to have to scramble and make a play with his legs and then get it in there like that. We need to be able to punch it in there with our backs. I believe when EJ comes back, he's going to give us that. Even though Daniel Hill squats 805 pounds, he runs like he's 105 pounds. Like, I don't know why he think he's a scat back, but he needs to get behind those pads and show me that 805. Otherwise, I don't believe it. But other than that, Kyle, man, that's about it. You enjoy the rest of your day. I appreciate the show. Y'all have a blessing.
All right, thanks, man. Good call. Appreciate it, dog. All right, we go from the 334, and now we go to 251. All right, thanks for the call. You're on the line with Kyle Henderson.
Matt.
Yeah. Matt, what's up, man? Matt's calling down from Mobile. Go ahead, Matt.
What's up, man?
Yep.
So I've gotten to where over the last couple of years, we have some really awesome press conferences that really hypes up the fans and hypes up the team. We get all excited and everything like that. That's great. The numbers in the weight room, that's great. But I'm ready to see on the field performance. I don't care if Daniel Hill squats 400 pounds or 800 pounds. As long as he can take care of business on the field. And I'm getting burned out on the dances after every single play. If they could put all the energy they put into those dances for preparing for the next play, that's all that matters. All that matters is the next play and that you handle business on the next play. And somebody was saying, oh, well, these are just kids. Let them have fun. They're not kids now. They're 18 years old or older. They're getting paid millions of dollars, and they got a job. They got a job to do. And so remember how the NBA went through that fad where everybody wore like really long shorts and acted all ghetto? That came and it went. Same thing needs to happen with all the dancing. It's come, we get it. We get it. It's great. Now let's move on. Let's move on to being from boys to men. Let's be businessmen and take care of business on the field. I was watching the A-Day highlights. It didn't matter what they did. If they did one little thing good, they were celebrating like they had won a national championship. We don't need to celebrate until we win a national championship.
Matt? I think Matt left. Thanks for the super chat, by the way, Matt. Appreciate it, bro. You know, he brought up something I was thinking about. Besides like the dancing and stuff like that, because I did see the dancing. They scored that little touchdown. They were dancing. How about Boys to Men, man? I hadn't thought about Boys to Men in a long time. Man, post your favorite Boys to Men song inside the comment box. Remember Boys to Men? Boys to Men, ABC, BBD. These folks claim the. Man, I hadn't thought about that in a minute. All right. Yeah, good call, man. I haven't thought about that in a minute. Yeah, but I mean the dances. All right, I have kids. Okay, this I don't know how this started or whatever, but these kids have to dance. They're dancing everywhere. And at first, I thought it was just Bama. At first, I thought it was just like our locker room. Everybody's doing it. It's crazy. I'm personally not a fan, but I am 42. I am not 17. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's like the kids are gonna be kids. And trust me, I got two teenagers. One doesn't dance, one dances. I love them both. You know what I'm saying? And this is just the era. But I'm I agree. It's like, you celebrate at the end of the season when you won the national championship. But at the same point, it's like they're having fun. Everybody's celebrating. I don't know. Doesn't really bother me. But as I got older and I have teenagers, man, and for those of you that have teenagers, I pray for you because teenage years are wild. I think that this might be the toughest parenting. Call line's open, by the way. I think this is the toughest parenting for sure. And the kids are great. They're really good kids. I just think that teens are teens, right? Let's see. Favorite Boyz II Men song. Did someone answer that? Do we have it? End of the Road? Oh, man. You played End of the Road, man. You were going through something for sure. Oh, man. End of the Road. Man. Water Runs Dry. Remember that one? Shoot. And Boyz II Men, they had some bangers for sure. But if you played it, you were going through something in your life and you were young and it was like some sort of a heartbreak or something like that. All right, let's see. Do we have any more calls that we'll take? All right, it looks like we might be cool. Do we have any questions? All right, is there any questions? All right, let's do a little Q&A before we bounce out. Wow, that was funny. Something Q&A, please. All right, we'll do some Q&A if you have like questions, if you can't call in or whatever, you're at work listening, in with one earbud. Someone made me laugh because I always ask them like, where are you listening to the show from? Right? Like where are we coming to you from? And someone's like, I'm at work with one earbud in. Let's see, Keena Bina. Keena Bina, what's up? How you doing? Appreciate you being here. Matt with another little $2 Superman. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know you do, man. That's your style, dude. I mean, everybody has their own style, right? The mattress Matt likes to come in, blow it up. Cody, when Cody gets hot, there's no one like Cody. Angel, you're not going to find a more passionate fan than Angel. I mean, you're just not going to, period. So get your questions ready. If you have a question or you want to make one more observation, go ahead and, put that in, and we'll address those before we break out on this beautiful Monday. They still have practice. They have practice Tuesday, and they have practice on Thursday. So 2 more practices, which is kind of whatever. I mean, more spring football, the better, right? I mean, I don't care. Yeah, I mean, it would be awesome if they practiced another month. There would be a lot more to assess, but here we are. And I thought it was a good spring camp so far. I've been really happy with it. I think we've learned a lot. I think we still have questions, and that's kind of where we're at. All right, let's see. Q&A section starts now. Bless you. Thank you. Bless you. Thank you. All right, what we got? All right, Larry Large. What's up, my boy? Larry Large says, are you sold on Jackson Lloyd at left tackle? I want to be. No, is my first answer, because haven't seen him play. Now, I want to be, and here's what I know about Jackson Lloyd, is that he's got the same type of mentality that Michael Carroll has. He really does. That's not just me saying that they're similar. He does. So he's smaller than Caden Proctor. I think he's more athletic in that regard because he doesn't have that 50 pounds of, non-weight. I hope that a second-year player like that can take a step forward. Now, Ryan Grubb was really happy about his play and named him the starter. Kalen DeBoer didn't necessarily say that he was the starter. So right now, am I sold on him? No, because I haven't seen him play. But I'm hopeful, and I've heard really good things about him. But to be straightforward, I'm not sold on him. The only guy that I'm sold on right now on the Alabama offensive line is Michael Carroll. That's it. And I'm sold. Are you guys sold on Michael Carroll? Everyone else, I want to be, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it and be like, yeah, he's going to be better than a first-round draft pick. How do we know that? So and this is where we get crossed up. Is like, I'm like, you're telling me, and look, this is not that I hate. I actually really like Jackson Lloyd. I really do, but I have to be honest. Can you imagine if I wasn't honest to you? Why would you watch my show? But do you really think that Jackson Lloyd this year is going to be a better, that he would be drafted in the NFL this coming April? Tell me that. Yes or no? Who would be drafted higher, Caden Proctor or Jackson Lloyd? All right, May, what's up, man? I appreciate the question. Let's see. Let's get it framed in here, right? Okay, May with the killer avatar. I don't even know what that is. It looks like you're on fire or something like that. How many yards average do you think Alabama will have next season? Oh, man, that's a tough one. I don't know about exact yards or offense or whatever. I think the way that I look at this is more like, what are we doing in terms of, I look at this as running the football. Are we able to run for over 160, 170 yards per game? I think so. When you say yards per average, to me, we'll pass the ball, but how are we running the ball? If we can't if we're running the ball as a team collectively for 120, right? I could look it up real quick. What were they running last year? I could do it in 2 seconds. I have this thumbnail or this page saved. Okay, so this is last year. This is rush average per game. Let me find it real fast. I really like this question, by the way. Alabama, okay. Okay, last year, Alabama was running 104 yards per game. 104. To give you a reference point, a team that and I'm not saying we got to run 200 yards per game, but I'm saying okay, Arizona ran 150 yards per game, and they were 75 in the nation. Can we run for 175? You know what I'm saying? Can we run for 150 a game as a team? to put it in reference, right, the 2020 team, and I'm not saying you have to be like any sort of team, but let's think of what the 2020 team did. The 2020 team, for reference sake, ran for 183 yards per game. And by the way, that year, Mac Jones still threw for nearly, 5,000 yards or whatever. Good question, for sure. What else we got? Yep, I got the email, bro. I got the email, Cody. Thank you so much, bro. All right. Let's see. Byron. What's up, Byron? How you doing, bro? Good to see you, man. In May, we'll be looking for a graduate transfer. They not be restricted to transfer portal rules. Dude, who knows what's going to happen? There's going to be one player out there that tests this whole transfer portal deal, right? You know there'll be one guy out there that's like, I'm going to disenroll from school and somehow I'm going to go somewhere else and they're going to like sue everybody. You just hope that it's not somebody from your roster, right? Okay. Let's see. Mystery T, what's up? Any other questions? All right. We got Mystery T says, Kyle, do you think we'll have a 1,000 wide receiver or 400 or 500 yard wide receivers? I think we'll have a 1,000-yard receiver this year. Yeah. My prediction is Ryan will definitely go for 1,000 yards. You probably have another wide receiver, or you probably have 2 or 3 that are kind of in that 700, 500-yard range. But I think this year you'll get 1,000-yard rushing. Now, will you get 1,000-yard running back? No way in hell. There won't be one running back that'll run for 1,000 yards. And look, I feel we're going to have more commitment to running the ball, but you're not going to have a featured back. That's why that's easy for me. From says fall camp, everything gets real, 100%. Pavia hasn't heard from anyone yet. I don't even know. Is he like projected? Where is Diego Pavia favored to go in the draft? I haven't seen his name. Does that mean like nobody? Like he's not going to get drafted? I haven't looked. I know that John Gruden, I saw a little thing. It looks like John Gruden absolutely loves him, right? Jamie Bird's bringing up the double tight end. Are you talking about the diamond, what Cody was talking about? I remember on the old NCAA football, I used to work with Nebraska, and I just kill it on wishbone. I just option left, option right, hit the L1, and I was done. Man, I need to start streaming. Remember when I was streaming the video game a couple times? Man, that was fun. We won the national championship this last year. All right, what's your opinion on the new executive order saying to save college sports? I don't know. I mean, the way I look at something like that is I trust Saban. I think Saban, he's the guy. So if Saban, and I've always felt this way. I've always felt that Saban kind of left college football for 2 reasons. Number one, I think he saw the writing on the wall and where it's going, and I think he just hit the eject button. He got out. He's the smartest person in the room everywhere, right? Anytime. But I also kind of felt that like one of his legacies would be like kind of saving the next whatever college football is, or college athletics in this particular case. So if anybody can do it, it's Saban. So I believe in Saban. His true legacy, like what he's doing here in Tuscaloosa, is really amazing. And I shared a couple points with this with the Undefeated, but he's building which is called the STEM Center here in Tuscaloosa. It's called the Saban Center, but it's basically like all of the arts. It's all for students and teachers. It's where the old Tuscaloosa News is, so it's a Saban Center. It is amazing. In fact, my daughter, who's in theater, they're moving the Tuscaloosa Theater over to the Saban Center, which is going to be really amazing. So you talk about like legacy from fixing college sports, but like what they've done in Tuscaloosa. That's why I always felt like Miss Terry deserves a plaque. She's done so much for this city. It's crazy. All right. With the limitations of Austin in A-Day, do you think we're jumping the gun too early on Keelon? 100%. Yes. But that's what we do. So yes and no. Okay. Number one, me personally, as like a human being, I don't believe that Austin Mack was dinged up. I don't believe it. Are we too early on everything? Yes. That's how we operate. With that said, I know what I saw on Saturday. That was the only scrimmage that I saw. All the other scrimmage, I get like nuggets from people. But from my own eyes and from everybody there, it was apparent that Keelon Russell was just the better quarterback. Moved the ball better, offense looked better. He was better. So the August changes things, as you know. There's scrimmages in August that are more impactful because they're closer to the season. So today I'm starting Keelon. Let's see what happens in August. But what everybody, I guess like we're saying 30,000 fans or whatever were there. I would imagine 25,000 feel that Keelon Russell's a starter. But August is a month, like Ephraim said inside the comment box, where things absolutely change, right? Okay, Tennessee Titans, new stadium, 75% complete. Wow, that would be amazing to check out. Yeah, absolutely. Nashville is certainly popping for sure. That I love going up there for sure. Anywhere else? Yeah, I'm with you, Byron. I don't believe that Austin Mack was hurt at all. Okay, family. Well, good show. I hope you guys enjoyed the content today right here on Bama Football on YouTube. That was fun to rap with you guys for the last hour and a half. You guys are the best, and I really, really appreciate you guys when you guys call into the program and when we're able to kind of chit-chat back and forth. Please check out our sponsor, which is Prize Picks, right? Play $5, get $50 instantly. I showed you guys how to build those lineups. You download the app. It's inside the description. Just click the link in the promo code, which is HMA. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I will be live again at some point. We will have more videos continuing to come out. Check out our website, which, look, the website's cool. And it's a really good place where you can just keep track of the roster, right? So there's the roster website, just Bama football roster. It's still in beta phase, and it's built, but it's always changing. You can look at formations. You can look at the depth chart. I'm going to update the depth chart probably tomorrow. Maybe that's something we'll talk about on tomorrow's program. So, all right. Thank you so much for joining us today. Call back tomorrow. If I missed your guys' call back again tomorrow. We'll continue to talk right here on Bama Football on YouTube. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Kyle Henderson of Bama